Okay, friends, Shalom Aleichem. Good morning. I want to share with you a beautiful Sugya on Daf Daled. The Gemara on Gimel Amud Beis had a shaila. I understand how you have Bal Yachel by Naziros. How do you have Bal Ta'acher? So first the Gemara said, you know how you have Bal Ta'acher by Naziros? If you say, when I want to be a Nazir, I'll be a Nazir. So if the guy delays, you're over Bal Ta'acher. To which the Gemara asks, well, he didn't want. So if he didn't want, you're not over Bal Ta'acher. So the Gemara's first attempt is where a guy says, I will not leave this world until I accept Naziros. Where it's incumbent upon him to take and observe the Naziros as soon as possible, lest he leave the world immediately. The Ran asks, when are you over Bal Ta'acher? If you don't, he says, when you don't accept the Naziros immediately. Bal Ta'acher by Nedarim, you're not over until three regalim. Says the Ran, that is by karbanos. By karbanos, when you accept upon yourself to bring karbanos, then you're not over Bal Ta'acher until you delay it 3 regalim. However, when somebody says, I won't leave this world until I'm a Nazir, that implies you have to be a Nazir right away. Fine. Then the Gemara brings another possibility. In someone who made a neder and he's in the base hakfaros. So, if the Naziris is not chal, he's over Bal Ta'acher right away. So Gemara asks, what do you mean? The Naziris is chal. So Gemara says, well, he's delaying observing the Naziros of Tahara. According to that answer, when are you over Bal Ta'acher? Right away if you delay it. Then the Gemara says you're delaying, let's say a Nazir delays shaving. When are you over Bal Ta'acher? Right away. And then Mar Zutra says you're over Bal Ta'acher on karbanos. You're over Bal Ta'acher on karbanos. Comes the Ran, and the Ran says, according to this answer, that you're over Bal Ta'acher on karbanos. Says the Ran, Lahacho Kimto, look where my icon is, according to Mar Zutra, that you're over Bal Ta'acher on karbanos, Eino over Bal Ta'acher el Achar Gimel Regalim. You wouldn't be over Bal Ta'acher until 3 Yomim Tovim pass, because according to this answer that it's Bal Ta'acher of karbanos, you're not over Bal Ta'acher until 3 Yomim Tovim pass. Which means all the previous answers of the Gemara were saying you're over Bal Ta'acher right away. Somebody who says, I'm not going to leave this world until I'm a Nazir, if he doesn't take on the Naziros right away, he's over Bal Ta'acher. Someone who makes a Naziros and he's in the Beis HaKvaros, he's over right away on Bal Ta'acher. Someone who delays shaving is over Bal Ta'acher right away. But when the Bal Ta'acher is on karbanos, then you're not over Bal Ta'acher until 3 Yomim Tovim pass. Right? That's how the Ran learns. That only this answer in the Gemara would be saying that you need to wait 3 regalim until you're over Bal Ta'acher. All the other attempts of the Gemara, you'd be over Bal Ta'acher right away. But not all the Rishonim agree with the Ran. Namely the Rosh. The Rosh disagrees with the Ran, and the Rosh holds every answer of the Gemara, you're never over Bal Ta'acher until 3 Yomim Tovim pass. So for example, look in the Rosh over here. And the Gemara's answer, Kagoin Shegazar, Shenazar, Okay, the Gemara says, the Rosh says, Va'oiver b'Bal Ta'acher im amad ba'oisa tuma gimel regalim. If you make Naziros and you're in the Beis HaKvaros, not like the Ran that you're over Bal Ta'acher immediately. If you make a Naziros and you're in the Beis HaKvaros, you're not over Bal Ta'acher until you remain in the Tuma for 3 regalim, and v'loi nitar mitzvahs Naziros, and you don't become tahar. So according to the Rosh, the answer of the Gemara of you are Nazar in the Beis HaKvaris, it's only if you remain that way for 3 regalim. And the Rosh earlier, that I won't leave this world until I take Nazirus, the Rosh also says the same thing. Here, look. Loi efter min ha'olam ad shehu ehei nazir, d'mina yishai tablei nazir. Says the Rosh, even the man Amar that says we're not concerned maybe a person would die, so the Rosh is bothered by a kasha. Not everybody says we're worried that somebody's going to, if somebody says to his wife, here's a get a moment before I die, there's an opinion she doesn't have to be worried every second he might die. Here, says the Rosh, you have to be worried because it's going to be a long time. Says the Rosh, Im yisha nazirus of gimel regalim. If you delay his nazirus 3 regalim, oiver b'bal ta'acher. You're over b'bal ta'acher. So we have a massive machlokes, the Rosh and the Ran. The Rosh says every time the Gemara gives a possibility that maybe you're over b'bal ta'acher, the Rosh says you're only over b'bal ta'acher after 3 regalim. Whether it's somebody who says I won't leave this world until I'm a nazir, whether it's someone who made nazirus of the Beis HaKvaros, whether it's somebody who delayed shaving, you're not over on Baal Ta'achar until you wait 3 regalim. The Ran says no. Someone who says I won't leave this world until I'm a nazir, he's over Baal Ta'achar if he doesn't immediately take nazirus. Someone who takes upon nazirus in a Beis HaKvaros, he's over on Baal Ta'achar immediately. Someone who delays shaving, he's over on Baal Ta'achar immediately. The only time the Ran says that you're not over Baal Ta'achar unless you wait 3 regalim is if you delay bringing your karbanos. The shaila is, what is the machlokes, the Rosh and the Ran? Why does the Ran say Baal Ta'achar is only a shiur in karbanos, and the Rosh says Baal Ta'achar is always, a 3 regalim is always the shiur? So, we come to one of the famous chakiras in Shas, one of the famous pieces of the Granat, Hagoin Rav Naftali Trapp. The Granat was the Rosh Yeshiva in Radin. The Chafetz Chaim hired the Granat to be the Rosh Yeshiva of his yeshiva in Radin. And in the yeshiva that I was zeicha to learn in Yeshiva Chafetz Chaim, the derech halimud in the yeshiva comes from the Granat, Hagoin Rav Naftali Trapp. So the derech in Musar comes from Slabotka, and the derech in learning comes from the Granat. And the Granat has a marvelous chakira. The din that Baal Ta'achar is 3 regalim. Is it that, even though you need to bring karbanos on Yom Tiv, I'm not mechuyev to bring it until the end of 3 regalim, and I have 3 regalim to bring it? Is Baal Ta'achar are 3 regalim the zman of my chiyuv? I am obligated to bring karbanos, but I'm not obligated until 3 regalim. I don't have an obligation until 3 regalim pass. But the moment 3 regalim pass, I'm done. I'm nailed. I violated it. So is 3 regalim the shiur of my chiyuv? No. Or maybe no. I'm a chiyuv to bring it right away. I'm obligated to bring the karbanos right away. I just don't violate the aveira until 3 regalim pass. In other words, are the 3 regalim a shiur in the chiyuv, that I'm not mechuyev until 3 regalim? Or no, I'm mechuyev right away. It's just I don't violate the sin until 3 regalim pass. In other words, is my obligation that I need to bring it by 3 regalim, or is it my obligation to bring it right away? It's just I'm not going to be nailed for a crime until 3 regalim pass. So says the Granat, this is a machlokes, the Rosh and the Ran. The Rosh holds that I'm obligated to bring my karbanos right away. I'm obligated to take care of my responsibilities immediately, but I'm not nailed for an aveira until 3 regalim pass. Therefore, even if I say I won't leave this world until I take upon myself Nazirus. So it's true, I'm obligated to do the Nazirus right away. But still, I don't get an Avera until 3 regalim pass. And even if someone's a Nazir b'veis hakvaros, so he's obligated right away to take upon himself Nazirus of Tahara, but still we won't nail him for a sin until 3 regalim pass. And even if somebody delays shaving, he's supposed to shave right away, but we'll never nail someone for a sin until 3 regalim pass. The opinion of the Rosh is 3 regalim is you don't incur guilt until 3 regalim pass, even though the obligation was immediate. But the Ran learns differently. The Ran learns that 3 regalim is I am not mechuyev to bring the karbanos until 3 regalim pass. There's no chiyuv yet. Not just I'm not guilty, there's no obligation. But what if I did obligate myself? What if I said, I will not leave this world until I take upon myself Nazirus? That means I'm obligating myself to be a Nazir now. So then the Ran says, then I'm over Baal Ta'achar immediately. And if somebody takes upon himself Nazirus in the Beis HaKvaros, he's got to get out immediately to observe that Nazirus. And if somebody delays shaving, he's obligated to shave right away. These are self-inflicted obligations. In other words, the din of 3 regalim is that I'm not obligated to bring karbanos until 3 regalim. But if there's any other obligation, and that would be sooner, then if I don't fulfill that obligation sooner, I'm over Baal Ta'achar. Let's take a look at this Grana. Let's see if we could figure it out. V'nira lefarish pluktasam. Dina yesh lachkar be'ikar ashir shagam orgam. You could have a chakira in the shir of the 3 regalim. Imhu shir bezman kiyam nidroi. Is it a shir in fulfilling your neder? V'hainu da Torah kavoi zman. The Torah set time. Shebemeshach oisai zman, that during the course of that time tzarach l'kaim chiyuva, you have to fulfill your chiyuv. And any time I'm mekayim b'toich hagimel regalim, harehu mekayim b'toich zmanei aroi, I'm mekayim within the appropriate time. Ul'achar hagimel regalim, and after the gimel regalim, miyad over b'bal ta'achar, immediately over b'bal ta'achar, the asr la'achar afil rega, I can't delay it even a moment. Do we say it's the shir in my chiyuv? I'm obligated to do it by 3 regalim. Any time within 3 regalim, I'm obligated to do it, which is which is what the Ran would hold, and therefore, if there would be a way to obligate myself sooner, I would be over Baal Ta'achar sooner. Or maybe you'll say, really, I'm obligated to do it right away. And as soon as I delay, I'm delaying. But I don't incur any guilt. I'm not violating Navera until 3 regalim pass. The 3 regalim is the zman in delay, not in the chiyav. Says the Grana, the Rosh holds, the Rosh who throughout the Sugya always holds, you're not over Baal Ta'achar until 3 regalim pass. That's because he holds Gimel regalim as a shear in the delay. And always the Zman Chiyuv is immediately. La'olam Zman Chiyuv ahu teikav. I'm not over teikav because the HaTorah ain't a mechayavta el b'chorei Gimel regalim. The Torah never was mechayiv me until 3 regalim pass. Therefore the Rosh holds the af be'ichor Nazirus the Torah, even though I delayed the Nazirus, gam kein over alachar ichorei Gimel regalim. I'm not over until 3 regalim pass. Even though I'm mechayiv immediately, I'm not over until after 3 regalim. The same thing would be if somebody said harei alai carbon miyad. If somebody said, I take upon myself to bring a carbon immediately, the Rosh would say, you're not over Baal Ta'achar until 3 regalim, because the 3 regalim is not a shear in the chiyuv, it's a shear in the delay. But the Ran holds like the first sad, that it's not a shear in the delay. The shear of Gimel regalim is the shear in when I'm chayiv. Therefore, that only applies bistama. Bistama, it's 3 regalim. but you could be koivea the chiyuv nidroi immediately. And anytime you put a self-imposed deadline earlier, you'll be over Baal Ta'achar earlier. That's why the Ran learns throughout the Sugya, you're always over Baal Ta'achar right away, except by karbanos. Umashikosav Aram, Baal Ta'achar. That which the Ran says, that if you say before 2 years, I will be a Nazar, you're over on Baal Ta'achar after 3 regalim. Even though he's saying, I don't want it to be, let's say somebody says, I'll be a Nazar within 2 years. Within 3 regalim, you're over Baal Ta'achar. You will still be over Baal Ta'achar after 3 regalim, and you don't have an extended 2 years, because it's like your masna mashakasa b'Torah. The Torah says the chiyuv is 3 regalim. So he says, "L'fizeh l'das harash t'sfirulei debechol pam beneder v'loy piresh have a ikar chiyuv takeoff." When you make a neder and you don't explain, the zman chiyuv is immediately. The shir gimel regalim is not koivea the zman chiyuv, it's koivea when you're over Baal Ta'achar. If you say that it should be 2 years, maybe that would not be like your masna amasha kasav Torah, because the Torah is not giving a shir in the chiyuv, the Torah is giving a shir in the ichor. So, but if I make my chiyuv 2 years, in other words, the Ran holds that if somebody says I will be a nazir within 2 years, you're over Baal Ta'achar as soon as 3 regalim pass, because you're masna mashakasa b'Torah. Why? Because in the world of the Ran, the shear of 3 regalim is the shear of when I am chayiv to take upon myself the naziros or the karbanos. But according to the Rosh, the shear of 3 regalim is not a shear in the chiyuv; it's a shear in the delay. And if I accept upon myself to be mechuyev right away, I still won't violate the Nazira, I still won't violate Baal Ta'achar until 3 regalim pass. So if I say, I'll be a Nazir within 2 years, I'm not masna mashakasa b'Torah. The Torah never said when I'm chayiv to take the Naziros. The Torah just says how much I have to delay. So if let's say I say I'll be a Naziros within 2 years, it could be I'm not violating that until 3 regalim pass after the 2 years. So basically, the Ran who learns that Baal Ta'achar only gives you 3 regalim for karbanos, but not for other chiyuvim. The Ran holds 3 regalim is the shear in my chiyuv. But if I impose an earlier chiyuv, I will be over Baal Ta'achar earlier. But the Rosh holds that Gimel Regalim is not a shir in the chiyuv. Gimel Regalim is a shir in the delay. And I'm always mechuyev right away. So the fact that I am mechayev myself earlier will not make it that I don't have 3 regalim to still have flexibility until I'm over Baal Ta'achar. In other words, in the world of the Rosh, the 3 regalim is a shear in the ichor. So therefore, even if I'm mechayev myself earlier, I'm still not violating an avera until 3 regalim pass. Mashen Kain in the Rosh, the 3 regalim is a shear in the chiyuv. So if I'm mechayev myself earlier, then I would be chayev earlier. Okay, Rabbi says, so that's the subject of Daf Daled. And this week, Be'ez Hashem, one shir will be Monday night, and we have to figure out when the other one will be, because I have a wedding Tuesday night. Okay? Have a great day. Bracha v'atzlacha. Kol tov, everyone.
Recording stopped.
Kol tov.